Let's talk Tanya for the 19th day of the first Adar. So in yesterday's Tanya, we explained that if I'm having a tough time in my struggles, if I am not winning all of my struggles, I have no right to condescend and look down at another person who's not winning their struggles, regardless of the nature of their struggles. It doesn't make a difference if they're struggling in a very difficult area in life and they're doing a lot of damage with their mistakes, and I am not. That's not the way we judge things. Ultimately, I have my struggles. I have to deal with that. And that's how I compare myself to others. How am I dealing with my struggles? How are they dealing with their struggles? And Alter Rebbe gave an example yesterday of davening. You know, you might think that you're an amazing person and that you're doing all good things, but at the end of the day, every one of us has our subtle struggles, which we have a difficult time with. And the question we have to ask ourselves is, how am I doing in my struggle? So yesterday we gave Alter Rebbe gave the example of davening and the effort that is required in davening. And if you're not putting in that effort, that appropriate effort, so then you are failing in your struggle. And today the Alter Rebbe continues and gives us other examples of struggles in more subtle areas in which we can look at ourselves and say, hey, am I really doing what I should be doing in these areas? So the next example the Alter Rebbe gives is of brachas. So davening, to a certain extent, is easier. Why? Because it's a defined time in the morning. It's a defined time at night. It's an hour in the morning and 20 minutes at night. But then how about the countless times during the day when you pull out an apple and you munch on an apple, or you go to the bathroom and you have to make an asher yatzar, and all the small brachas that we make throughout the day, and the proper focus that's needed every single time to take a moment to stop and to center yourself and to do it with proper kavanah in a way that's even more difficult than davening. How are you doing in that area? How about learning Torah? You can say, well, I learned Torah, but how much Torah do you learn? Do you learn as much as you want to learn? In other words, are you within your comfort zone? Because if that's not enough, because you learning Torah within your comfort zone doesn't compare to the struggle that person who you're trying to condescend has to struggle in their areas of life. Unless you're learning Torah a lot more than your comfort zone and really pushing yourself, then you have no way of comparing yourself to that person. Or tzedakah, as another example that Alter Rebbe gives. So you say you give tzedakah, but once again, how much are you giving? Are you really winning your struggle against your animal soul and giving more than you feel comfortable giving? So we've identified many different areas you could look at yourself and say, yeah, I'm not doing so great in my struggle. I cannot condescend another person. But Dr. Rebbe says, 1 second. There seems to be a little problem with the reasoning over here, which is that person is doing averis, is doing bad things. I'm not doing anything bad. It's just that in the area of good, I'm not pushing myself as far as I should. That's not a fair comparison. That's apples and oranges. That person is doing terrible things. That person is doing damage. I'm not doing enough good. Dr. Rebbe says, and I would like to read these words inside. Umali b'chines sur mira, umali b'chines v'asei toiv. What's make a difference? Whether it's sur mira, staying away from evil, or whether it's v'asei toiv, doing good. Hakoil hi mitzvahs hamelech hakodesh yochid umiyuchad baruch hu. It's all about following the mitzvah, the command of the Holy King, the one and the only one, blessed be He. If you take a step back and you realize, what are we doing down here in this world? We're here to serve Hashem. We're here to do what Hashem commands us, instructs us to do. Hashem instructs us to do good things. Hashem instructs us not to do bad things. The difference between the two is superficial. Ultimately, the reason why I do something good, the reason why I abstain from doing something bad, it's all because it's the mitzvah of Hashem. It's all the same thing. It's about following Hashem's will. Hashem doesn't want me to do terrible things, and Hashem wants me to exert myself to the utmost when it comes to davening. And if I fail in either area, there really isn't much of a difference. At the end of the day, the struggle that Hashem gave me, I am not coming through in that area. In truth, in tomorrow's Tanya, the Alter Rebbe is going to tell us that if you want to take a look even closer, you'll notice that even in the area of Sur Mirah, even in the area of abstaining from doing that which is wrong, if you look close enough, you'll find that even in those areas also, even if you consider yourself to be a wonderful person, there's areas in which you struggle, and you can use improvement in those areas also.